Apparently, the Nintendo Switch Pro is a thing. Well, according to this European website called Media Market. Now, apparently this retailer is actually pretty popular over in Europe, so while you should definitely take this with a grain of salt, I wouldn't be surprised if this is our first hint that we're going to be getting a more powerful Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch has been extremely successful, from critically praised first-party games, to sales, to a decent variety of third-party games, especially indies. Indies thrive on Nintendo Switch, so it's pretty much no question that Nintendo wants to prolong the life of this system. So on their website, it actually says Nintendo Switch and Switch Pro, which I find a little bit odd because I don't think Nintendo is going to use the name Switch Pro. Then again, what if this possible console was actually packed in with the Switch Pro controller and actually didn't switch, just like the Switch Lite? So then we would have three different SKUs. The portable Nintendo Switch Lite that can only be played on the go, the base Nintendo Switch that can be played on your TV and on the go, and then the more powerful Switch Pro that comes packed in with a Pro controller and is only playable on the TV. And I know what you're thinking, well, why would it be called a Switch if it can't switch? But, I mean, look at the Switch Lite. That thing doesn't switch either, and it didn't really seem to cause a stir or anything. So yeah, as I've started recording this, I have started coming around on the name Switch Pro, mainly because I would love to see a dedicated home console again, especially packed in with the Switch Pro controller, which is one of my favorite controllers of all time. Now, there are some crazy rumors that have been going around recently, like this console possibly coming out in March, which is not long after the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, so that would be pretty bold of Nintendo. Then again, it seems like nothing is really stopping Switch at this point, so I don't really think they're worried about battling it out with those next-gen consoles. I personally think a March release date makes sense, because just like the Nintendo Switch, you get two big booming marketing moments in the year, when the console launches and then Christmas time. If the Switch Pro launches in March, that'll be huge and a lot of people will jump on board, especially if the console makes your current Switch games look even better. And then come Christmas time, I could definitely see the Breath of the Wild sequel launching and taking advantage of the new hardware, and that would without a doubt be the Christmas must-have items. Actually, pretty much exactly how Mario Odyssey was for the Nintendo Switch. It launched with Breath of the Wild in March, and then come Christmas time, Mario Odyssey was the big game for the holiday season. But this also has me wondering what game could launch with the Switch Pro. It would obviously have to be something pretty massive, and as of right now, the only announced Nintendo Switch games that are on the same level as Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey is of course the sequel to Breath of the Wild. But that doesn't mean Nintendo has nothing to announce for the rest of the year. I guess it's still possible that they could announce a game for March sometime this year. As much as I want it to, the Switch Pro probably isn't launching in March, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it next holiday season, hopefully with Breath of the Wild 2. But let me know what you guys think about all of this down in the comments section below. Do you think we could get a Nintendo Switch Pro next year, or even as soon as March? That would be pretty crazy, but it would be an awesome way to prolong the Switch lifetime. And it would be exactly 4 years after the original Switch launched. Sounds a lot like the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X. And I think it's the smart move. Switch doesn't seem to be slowing down at all, and I think Nintendo needs to continue taking advantage of that. But yeah, let me know everything you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, hit that thumbs down, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.